What?
No, I was just making sure everything was working.
No.
All right. This is officially the punk rock stage of my the scumbag slash punk rock stage of my YouTube career, which isn't real. I don't have a career in YouTube. I am eating. He is sleepy. We did not have a plan. He didn't even think we should do this. But in discussing why we shouldn't do it, we were incidentally making content. And I just said, fuck it. Let's just goddamn record the conversation we're having. So, as the title shows, like this is not necessarily about Quiet on Set. It's not. This is about Lori Beth Denberg specifically. Well, not just Lori, but also Daniel Schneiderbaum, because some information came out. And honestly, I think that we are all, like as a society, I think we are all at a point now where, how would I put this? I think we are all at a point now where we've moved on from Quiet on Set. Like, I think everybody, like the shock has worn off. I think a lot of the people who were involved are still trying to maintain some sort of importance, relevance. They are trying to stay afloat on the Isle of Relevancy. And one of those people is none other than All That alum and co-star of Good Burger and Good Burger 2, Lori Beth Denberg. Now, the information that we have is not vital to your everyday life. It's not. But it is interesting, to say the very least. It came out about a week or so ago that Lori Beth, yo, I am struggling to get through this sentence. Lori Beth Denberg claimed that she and Dan Snyder had a secret relationship. She had a secret relationship with him. What were the other things? I know one of the other things was that he would have her, quote unquote, hide a gun on set. Was that what you said?
Hold on, get into it.
Okay. Now,
So once Denberg said that Schneider asked her to accompany him to visit his auto repairman. According to Denberg, Schneider had a gun on him. When a police officer pulled over Schneider because of an issue with his car's tags, Schneider pushed his gun to Denberg. She hid the gun under her skirt as Schneider chatted with the officer, who recognized him from his role on the sitcom Head of the Class.
oh, so we're lying out of the gate, huh? Personally, I don't think anybody would recognize him from his role on Head of the Class. That's my personal opinion. Which don't mean shit. But it is my personal opinion. You good over there, brother? Did you hurt yourself?
I'm reading.
Oh, sorry. It just went quiet all of a sudden. Oh, my back. I would also like to point out that this episode is being recorded over, like, not over, but instead of us talking about how I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's what wild. Come this Wednesday, I'll be home. I will have been home a month. Time is strictly an illusion. But that video will be, or those conversations will be recorded at some point. It's only for posterity, because Lord knows nobody watches this shit. So, I was under the impression that, for whatever reason, this dude had this girl, mind you, tucking a Glock 40 under her titties while filming all that. Now, we can sit here and talk about how bizarre it is, how bizarre it is that he asked her to hold this gun when the cop pulled him over, because that makes it seem like definitely he shouldn't have had the gun. And then my question would be, why shouldn't you have the gun? Like, just straight up, why were you not allowed to have a gun? But the better question is, why did you feel the need to ask this girl, this child, to accompany you to a thing, to the thing that you? Why did you need that? Like, that's my only question. Why did you need Lori Beth Denberg to come with you to go see your auto guy, your mechanic? Was mechanic a code word? Is that like just where he went and got his cocaine? And if Dan Schneider was on cocaine, why is he still fat?
Well, clearly it only works for Josh Beck.
Josh was on the cokey cokes?
Josh was on all them drugs.
I didn't know that. Oh my god. I make you feel like you was on all the drugs. They treat my business like a soda, or my music like a perk. They know my flow is a YOLO. And that's a cold piece of work. I want to move on to like what made us decide to actually record this episode. But he's looking stuff up, and like there's dead air, and I don't want to move forward and then have to like tread back. So I guess we'll just wait, and I'll cut to the part where we're talking, which I could have just not said that and just
wait. Just sat there quietly.
So before they released me from the hospital, they asked me if I would be interested in getting meals delivered to my house. Like they like, yeah, we can have like meals delivered. So I was like, okay. I don't know why I said yes, but I did. I agreed to it.
Free?
Yeah. Like, I guess, like, instant.
Yes,
that's why I said yes. They're frozen meals. They get delivered in a box. And I'm assuming that we're getting them once a month. Not once a month, I'm sorry, once a week. This is some of the whitest shit.
Okay.
Like what is the one I'm having now? It's like spinach. Like some of these have like chickpeas, quinoa. Like it's 100% like healthy. Like you can like microwave them for 2 minutes, and then like you like stir it up and then microwave it for another 2 minutes, and then like that's your meal. And like there were a few breakfast burritos. Like it's varied. Like there's some chicken tikka masala, and like They would definitely be more like the size of the container that they come in is definitely more in line with what you might consider a lunch. Not din-dins, but definitely like a lunch. Like something light, like in the middle of the day.
Well, supposedly, the proper way to structure your meals is that breakfast is supposed to be massive, then lunch is not as big, but it can still be like a regular sized meal, and then dinner is supposed to be the light one. So like the way it's structured is like you have breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a lord, and dinner like a pauper.
This is the second one of these I've had that had cubes of sweet potato in it. This is rice. What I think is spinach. Like I'd have to look at the thingy. But like the flavor, like it's definitely like low sodium, low sugar. Oh,
Okay, I'm done reading.
you ready?
Go for it.
Oh, you go for it. Like what did you learn? What did you find out?
Well, that's not how this is supposed to start.
Yeah, but I don't remember. No, we're like continuing where we left off because I completely forgot what the last thing I said was. Like the last thing we were talking about was he had this girl like stashing guns while he went to
Yeah.
go while he went to go see his car
Okay,
guy.
so their first, apparently, I mean, let's go back to being fat. Um, Now remember how Katrina was talking about that whole we already have a fat one situation, right?
Yeah,
So apparently, somebody spoke to Lori Beth about her weight, and he actually didn't agree with that. He said I should have been the one to speak to her about it. Why?
because he's
Because
a
he
fat guy.
understood.
Yeah,
So he tried, to like calm the situation, and she said it was literally in that situation that was the first time. Like he was trying to calm her down, and then ended up showing her porn, and it wasn't just any porn.
it was BBW
It
porn
was nah. It was lady giving services
to fat guys.
to a donkey.
All right, so I didn't have a chance at guessing what happened. Like it wasn't happening.
Because you weren't gonna get it.
I wasn't gonna go there.
Yeah, so that was supposedly the first video. And so this happened
Why a
when she was
donkey?
already over 18.
Why a donkey
So,
though?
I don't know. But we also know that this was not the first time that someone brought up that this was a thing that he did, which only makes it look like this was probably a thing that he did. Um, so it evolved from there because she said she was like 19 around the time. She booked the show when she was 17. And at this point, so about 2 seasons in, they told her she was getting fat. And he was like, I should have been the one to tell her. And here, watch this video. But from there,
What the fuck
it
is that
kind of
conversation?
progressed.
What is no stop? What is that? What is that? What is like, hey, you're getting fat. Watch this video. Like it feels like it was two separate conversations. Like it was like, hey, I was like obligated to inform you that like we're concerned about your weight.
Well,
But also, you
no,
know,
no, no, I don't think I highly doubt it went down like that. I feel like if I was in that situation and slightly sociopathic, this is how I would approach it. Even though I was probably the driving force behind it, because he was the one who was like pretty much in control. He was only a co-creator on all that. There was another guy who was in who had power, but he and Dan were friends because they were both on head of the class. So it was kind of like that whole all that situation. The other guy kind of kept Dan in check a little bit,
mm,
which is probably why when Keenan got asked that question during that interview, he was like, "It wasn't my experience," um, and also like Dan wasn't the person who ran Keenan and Kel, so that's probably true on that case. But when the Amanda show and Drake and Josh came around, that was when Dan was exercising like full control. And but he had this whole thing going on with Lori Beth on the side during all that, and so like again, the way the sociopathic part of my brain works is they talked about her weight, somebody else went and did the dirty work, and then he came over and was like, "Hey, it shouldn't have been done like that. You know what? Don't listen to them. Here, watch this video."
so what's the purpose of the video?
I mean, he clearly just liked watching porn at work.
Because cause like clearly in my head, I'm like, it makes more sense to do this in a way that we're trying to like let her know that being big doesn't mean you're ugly. Like that's how
I
I
mean,
read it. That's how I
she didn't specify if it was a fat girl or not. Because, I mean, he could have been like, see, even fat girls can pull. I don't know.
I doubt the donkey was all that concerned about what the weight of the woman was, but
Uh, well, he probably looked at her and went, yeah, she could probably hold the load.
as somebody who has seen things that I'm not going to clarify, the animals rarely give a fuck, and I do mean rarely. Like, like for anybody curious, because the internet used to be the Wild West, and like when you haven't seen it before, it's interesting. Once you've seen it, it's not as interesting. So
Anyway,
all I'm saying is, like, all you have to do is be mildly interested, and the animal is like, this is happening. Like, there's a story in the first season of Fargo that like kind of explains this a bit. It's really funny. Anyway,
I heard that most recent season was nuts.
it was upsetting. I didn't care for it, but not because it was bad. I didn't care for it because it was very Trump's America, and I just straight up don't enjoy anything that reminds me of that white man. Like I don't. Because fucking John Hamm's character was the biggest piece of shit. Like he was clearly racist and was definitely a male chauvinist. And those are just two things I don't enjoy. Like I like
Well, let's, let's it Dan.
that's the thing. People keep calling Dan racist, and I'm just like, where's the racism? Even he's like, where's the
So,
racism?
well, that's the thing. Well, so something I find funny though is like they were telling their stories and everything, and he found it convenient to have one of the black people that he had hired to be the person to interview,
Yeah.
but a black person who was not a journalist, and probably had a prepared list of questions that was previewed by Dan himself, because his answers were, they were just straight up, so they were all pre-written.
I do not care for journalists. I don't think they actually want answers. Journalists want to sensationalize. That's my personal experience with journalists.
No, that's a yes. That's a lot of people, right? But if it had been an actual journalist, then they probably could have actually pulled something out of him that wasn't already pre-rehearsed.
But again, it would have just felt sensationalized. Like it would have felt like they were actively
The whole,
trying.
the whole, the whole thing, it was already sensationalized.
Oh man.
But back to Lori Beth.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
this all happened, so she was already over the age of 18. And even she said that, like, at the time, it was a situation where she was, like, her brain was just like, I'm legal, I guess. But there was still, like, the massive power dynamic, which is what literally everybody has said that he played to his favor. So like he had everybody living in a state of fear, and her situation was always just kind of like, if I don't do it, then he's going to fire me, and I'm going to lose my way of life. Um, so it progressed to like they would have they would give each other massages, but in private. Now, it was also said by other people, multiple people, not even on Quiet on the Set, but people outside of that situation, that Dan would make people give him massages on set.
Yeah.
But they were doing them outside in private. They were doing massages. It progressed to phone sex, um, but never anything actual penetrative, except for when she shoved that gun up her hoo-ha.
Again, he keeps saying stuff that ain't nobody said. I don't know if she was out here coochie stuffing this Glock 40. I don't know if that's what was happening. Like, because what did you say earlier? Like, what the fuck did you say earlier that was that made it seem like you had never seen a woman, like ever? Like, I can't remember.
What?
You said
Oh,
you,
when I said she shoved it, did
under
she shove it under her
her
fupa?
fupa, and I was like, had you seen a woman ever?
Oh, goodness.
Because like I obviously know what a fupa is, but I'm curious. Do you think a fupa is just an extra titty that that hangs over her coochie? Because even in some of the biggest women I've ever seen, the fupa doesn't have nearly enough overhang to fucking any gun she could have hid under a fupa, he could have tucked in his lower back. But moving on.
I don't know where I was.
She was
Um,
18. She was 18. She figured she was legal.
massages.
Mm. She
Um,
was 18. She
oh,
figured she was
apparently
legal.
at one point, he made a comment about her breasticles and told her they were two different sizes. Um, and I don't really know what that had to do with anything, but he did. They were still like in private. They would do porn things. Um, what else was there?
All right.
Well, by the time she ended up leaving the show, the
Um,
relationship was already.
I will say,
Huh?
like, a woman having breasts of two different sizes isn't uncommon.
That's Yeah, that's like
It's super normal.
par for the course.
Yeah, like a lot of the
Um,
thing is, a lot of the times though, it's not necessarily visible. I have met two women in like the like 15 years I've been like meeting people on the internet. I've met two women whose breasts were two different sizes and it was clearly visible. Well, only one that was clearly visible. The other one I didn't notice at first, and then eventually I was like, and it's one of those things
had
where it's
one of
like,
them had a miscarriage?
no, neither of them had ever been pregnant as far as I knew. Why is that like a? It's like a hormone thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I like it.
Like, remember, what was her name? What was her
No.
name? What was her name? Adrian on The Simple Life and how she hooked up with Peter Brady.
Yeah.
So after they got married, she got knocked up and had a miscarriage. But while she was pregnant, the hormones had gotten to her breasticles, and one of them grew larger than the other. And but then she had the miscarriage, and there was no shrinkage, so she ended up having to get like a boob job to like correct it.
Oh, so it's not about the miscarriage; it's about pregnancy.
Well, the hormones, yeah.
Yeah. So, but you asked about a miscarriage.
But I mean, no, because if she had carried to term, then the other one probably would have balanced it out.
I don't think so. I think as long as she wasn't pregnant, I'd imagine that would have been all that. That'd have been the thing. It's like her no longer being pregnant would have. It seems like it would have been the thing. And anyway, not important. Um. So this dude. Now again, Lori was. I don't remember if Lori had like big taters or not. Like I really can't remember. Like I cannot remember if Lori has or had big taters. I
Well,
remember.
they really like. I guess because she was the fat girl, she was really covered up.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
was in that
She was always
freaking
that moo.
Rosie O'Donnell style dress,
Yeah,
like
she was
big
always.
baggy shirts and pants. Like
Yeah.
she was always covered up.
And a part of me wonders if
So,
like that was also because she had big titties. like they were
potentially,
like let's be real here. You got some taters on you, and like this is still a kid show. So like let's not, that's not. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if a kid
well,
had
I
a
mean, it's like, look, you made this observation about iCarly and Miranda.
yeah that like, and I'm pretty sure like if anybody listen to this, go watch any random scene of iCarly. Well, pick 5 random episodes of iCarly. Eventually, you will see that Miranda Cosgrove's character, the titular Carly. I keep forgetting her name is not iCarly. Um,
Well, that's okay. You're black.
um, she always had. Well, it tends to end up wearing a lot of clothing that like it looks like a bustier. Like there will be like a solid colored shirt or something that goes over her boobs, and then something that goes under like a bustier that like it outlines her tits, like goes underneath and like cups them in a way that makes her titties like stand out in the outfit. Like, and I'm pretty sure like other like grown women wearing stuff like that, it'd be like, oh, it's nothing. It's just whatever, man. It's like this is just my outfit, and it's like okay, cool. And that's the one thing I do feel like that's so awkward about like all of this is like let's look at fashion as a whole, right? If you and I were like, yeah, we make fashion clothing, we make we're fashion designers, and
I
the
would
shit that
love to.
and the shit we make is just fucking dumb. Like we're on par with Balenciaga. We're making ugly fucking clothes.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
we're making ugly fuck off clothes,
Why won't you do it?
and it's one thing for us to make them, but then we decide like we're gonna make kids clothes, and so we're doing the whole so we're doing the whole like fashion show, and we're putting the kids in these ugly fucking clothes. I feel like people would be like, oh no, this isn't okay. You shouldn't make kids wear stuff for fashion. It's like, yeah, but fucking people are choosing to wear
All
this
right.
shit. Like people are choosing to wear this shit. So like my thing here is like adults would be like they shouldn't have Miranda wearing these things because it's clearly them trying to accentuate the breast of a child. And it's like, but adult women would choose to wear this, if not something way more direct. So like they're dressing her in the show like real women choose to dress. Is my thing, and I'm not saying that that makes it right because again, it's an the audience is for children, but it's just I don't know, man. It's almost like a crackhead telling you like you're a bad person for smoking crack. Like
Well,
not.
I only brought that up to say that maybe there's a difference because, um, like I said before, Dan wasn't the only person running all that, but he was the only person running iCarly. So, maybe although there wasn't like compared to Victorious, there wasn't as much of an emphasis on Victorious, even though they had Ariana doing some weird stuff. Um, and same with Drake and Josh, but that show was just about two dudes. So and like unless you wanted to see Helen and, and whatever Carly was wearing, like it wasn't gonna happen. Now something that she said would happen though, which is why she never really like was brave enough
Nigga.
to speak out. And this is something that we know for a fact is true because he admitted to it. He had a temper and he would lash out, and that's what would happen to her. And like, dude, I told when this first came out, I told you he was running sets like freaking Vince McMahon. Everybody was walking on eggshells around him. And
Yeah.
she said he would do the exact same thing that Vince would do, which is literally change the script last minute, and you had zero time to rehearse. And so she said pretty much like if whenever he or she made him mad, he would do that to her, specifically with like vital information. He would change the script last minute, and she never had any time to rehearse, didn't know what was being said, and just had to go out and do it.
Now, I feel like this is the part where like people would expect me to like justify what he did, but that's some bitch shit. That is like when I say that's some bitch shit, it ain't just like you're an asshole because like you're because of what you're doing, but like you're super an asshole because it's your show. You are taking, you are running the risk of ruining the recording simply
Well,
because you
not
guys.
necessarily, because he could have edited it out. She would have looked like an idiot in front of the crowd and in front of him, but he could have cut it out. The show was going to be fine.
I didn't think about that because I always assumed that they didn't. I never considered the fact that they would have extra. Ah, I bit my tongue. I never considered that they would have extra like footage.
Yeah,
Yeah, it never
that's
crossed my
like
mind.
SNL. So like, well, like Mad TV was completely pre-recorded. Um, they could, do sketches as much as they want. SNL happens live, but not live because they do two shows in the day. They do one during the day, and then they do one at night. And so they take some sketches from the show that they did during the day and air them during the actual um, live showing. And so Mad TV, nope, all that was just, they do the sketch in front of the crowd, and if it goes bad, then they just cut it out. That's why do you ever realize like there were practically like no stinkers? There are always stinkers on SNL. Same with Mad TV. There are practically no stinkers
Stinkers.
because
I thought you
they
said.
edited them out.
I thought you said stingers. Okay. Okay,
No,
that makes sense.
stinkers.
It's like, cause that's my personal take with SNL is that SNL is not funny. Like I've never thought SNL was
No,
funny,
they have some of their sketches, the ha 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 ha, but hard.
and I'm pretty sure
And
that's
the sad
definitely
part is
more
that they
so.
have a laugh track. They have a laugh track, and so one of the funnier things that's happened, and one of the blaringly obvious things that like made it really obvious, like oh crap, they use a laugh track, even though they are performing in front of an audience, they still use a laugh track.
That's
There was an
embarrassing.
episode of Weekend Updates, so that's the news segment that they
Yeah, I
do,
know. Yeah, I know what to do.
and it was April Fool's Day. And Michael Che went out before they did Weekend Update and told the audience to not laugh at any of Colin's jokes. And they didn't. But the laugh track was still going, and so it sounded like people were laughing. But you could see on Colin's face, like he was just like
Per-
lost because
perplexed.
no one was laughing at his jokes. But you're still hearing the laugh track. And it's not like a loud, like crazy crowd, but it's like they they boost it kind of.
Mm.
And so, but then like it's revealed, like then Michael reveals it. He's like, "Yeah, I told him not to laugh at any of your jokes," and he was like practically in tears because he was like, "I thought this was all like really good." He didn't know what was happening, and I was like, "Holy crap, they use a laugh track." So yeah, but there are some sketches also when they bomb, and it's just very clear that they are bombing because it's practically silence. They don't even bother with the laugh track. And then some of them are great.
Mm. Yeah, I never really considered. I won't say that every skit on Mad TV was gold, but like, no, I never really considered.
Yeah, there are no bombs though.
Yeah, there was never anything that was so bad. Like there were things I thought were cringy. Like I thought this is completely off topic. I thought the Benifa Hatifa like that shit. I didn't think that was funny.
Uh,
I just didn't think it was funny. Like, and I didn't think it was. I did not think it was funny because it wasn't funny. It's just like the stereotype of it just wasn't funny to me. Like that was the bit.
yeah, a lot of the stereotypical ones with Deborah and Aries
The
they
black
were a
people.
little
Yeah,
they
the
were a
black.
little
Yeah,
cringy.
yeah.
Well, no, I think only Deborah and Aries because even when they added the other one, like she didn't really do stuff like that. She was
Who Danielle?
kind of invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tova and what's her man, they were great.
Because like I keep thinking about like all the stuff that they had Bobby Lee do, and again I think that's just the American racism in me. Is like that shit I thought was at least kind of funny because like I can't stress to you enough. Oh, hot dog isn't funny. Like there's nothing inherently funny about that. It's just that we're fucking dumb. Like that is not how you said it, but yeah, it's close enough.
I
Like,
know.
but like
Oh my
we're
god.
like, and that's just proof that we're fucking dumb. Like that's like when I tell you I don't understand how comedy works. Like the things that I have said that have had my friends laugh. I didn't understand why they were funny. Like I don't understand how comedy works. Like it's incredibly
Well, everybody
subjective.
has a different sense of humor.
Yeah, it's incredibly subjective, but like it because like I've said this before. Like and again we're super off topic now. Like how like all of my friends are my friends, but none of us like the same stuff. Like, and I do mean that's all four of my friends. It's like me and you like a lot of the same shows. We like a lot of the same stuff, but we don't like it for the same reasons. Like we don't. And I was saying that with Mark. Like I was like, me and you love video games, but we like video games in very different ways. Like you like games you like, I tend to not, and like it just is what it is. And the same goes with Jordan. Like me and him love music, we love video games, we like wrestling. We like a lot of the same shit, but we don't like it the same way. And so like, yeah, with Mad TV like that, that's what it was for me. A lot of the times it was I never considered any of it not funny, but I disliked. I didn't always find it as funny as like I felt like they thought I was supposed to, because there was stuff on that show that I would argue was not suitable for TV, but was fucking hilarious. Because Jordan didn't watch Mad TV growing up, so I showed him the Paul Timberman skits, and I don't know if you remember Paul Timberman or not. But it was a character that Will Sasso played, and he was like,
I knew it would be.
yeah,
Oh, is he the one that kept cutting off his?
yes, like constantly hurting himself. Like he was like a Bob Vila type character,
Yeah.
like doing like home improvement things, like home improvement, like the actual term, like the actual phrase home improvement, not the show. But
I'm Kenny Rogers.
like again, I don't know why that's funny. Like the Kenny Rogers bit is as funny as the Ross Perot bit because neither of us knew who the fuck that was.
Oh God.
Like,
Wait, do you mean Katrina's Ross Perot?
yeah, who else? Who else would I mean?
Yes. Okay.
I don't know who the fuck Ross
I
Perot is.
think somebody else. I think it was on SNL. Somebody else played Ross Perot.
Mm.
Yeah, had never had no idea at all who Ross Perot was.
Nah, not just
But
like
because she put on that funny voice and looked weird,
that's all it took,
why not?
and that's all it took for fucking Kenny Rogers. Like that's all it took.
Yes, the voice. Yeah.
I was raised on the dairy, bitch. Like, I was like, so as far as I know, like, and I'm pretty sure that's just how like life works in some capacity. There are people in our age group who probably like met Kenny Rogers and thought he was just a drunk idiot. Like we just would.
Did we not talk about how our frame for what Jimmy Carter sounds
Like,
is
dude,
freaking King of
the
the
King of the
Hill?
Hill. Like, I thought that was who Jimmy Carter was. Like, I was like, is that really him? Like, is that really Jimmy Carter doing the voice? The answer was no.
Yeah, very much no.
Rest in peace, Jimmy. You and your wife are.
Yeah.
I'm positive his wife is dead.
Yes, but he ain't dead yet.
Are you sure? I think he did die.
No, I'm pretty sure he ain't dead yet. His wife died, but he ain't dead.
Oh.
They wheeled him out of the half grave that he was already in to go to her funeral.
Nah, this motherfucker is 99 years old. This motherfucker is 99 years old. He was born in 1924.
Yeah, he's been in hospice for like a year now.
He's gonna make it to 100.
He's just hanging on. If he does, I think that makes him like the old. Wait, he already is the oldest surviving president ever.
I'll be real with you. Now that I've said this, by the time this airs, and I don't know when this will air,
He's gonna die.
he's gonna fucking die. It's gonna be.
He's dying tomorrow.
It's going to be my fault. It's. I spoke it into existence, but at the same time, I said he would live to be 100. So if he doesn't,
Yeah. But I mean, I did kill the king, so, and I am here too.
to be fair, you didn't kill the king. King had a heart attack, and then you said, "Did he have a heart attack?" Like you just guessed at what happened.
No, I said it before he even disappeared, or like before we even knew what happened though. But, like I was like, did he die? Turns out, yes, he had.
He didn't die. He had a heart attack. He did not die.
Yes, he did.
He's alive.
He was legally dead for 3 minutes
That just means
before
his
they
heart-
resuscitated him.
Yeah, that's not dead. That's just not alive. It's a difference.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, back to Dan being a dick. So, after she
Hold
left
on.
the show...
Oh, keep going. Because, yeah, there's stuff to be told. Go ahead.
Oh. Okay. So, after she left the show,
Yeah.
And the Amanda show was picking up. Then Amanda, because by that time, like Amanda had already been on all that, and Lori Beth looked at her like a little sister and everything, you know. Amanda wanted Lori Beth to come to like the first taping of the show. So after she had left the show, she went and complained about her, right? And she went to like higher ups. She spoke to his business partner, who was apparently like rude to her, which you know why would you? They were friends. And then she also spoke to executive, and nothing happened. So after Amanda invited her to the show, she said she didn't want to go because she knew Dan would be there, but she wanted to be there for Amanda. So she went to the show, and she said the first thing she noticed was that Amanda looked emaciated, like sickly.
Uh-huh.
And she said she also noticed that before one of the sketches, Dan did the same thing that he would do to her. He had changed it without letting Amanda know and not giving her time to
Get
really
ready.
rehearse it before they were about to do it.
Yeah.
And Amanda didn't care for that. She was very upset about it, and so Lori Beth said that she actually like went off on Dan about it, I believe. And but after that taping, she was barred from ever coming back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, so she went to that one taping, and that was it. And then, as we know, like she pretty much just disappeared until like a few years ago. Like we never really saw her again after that.
Because I always find it wild because like when they it was called the Splat, which I don't think exists anymore.
Mhm.
um, that was the first time I had seen Lori Beth in forever. Like Keenan, Kale, Josh, like those were the only three from the all that like days that I actually remembered seeing outside of like Nickelodeon. Because Kale kept doing stuff. He was making music, like he was doing stuff. Keenan was out there like fucking. I'm finna be Keenan goddamn Thompson.
You know
Um,
what's funny is I was thinking like we were talking about as kids like seeing fat people like you know who are fat like the fat people we looked up to were like
drug
Keenan,
addicts.
Lori Beth, uh,
Oh, so we're not thinking of the same people. Because the first person I thought of was the first person that came to mind was Chris Farley.
I was gonna say Chris Farley, but he wasn't. So like I didn't really have a reference for Chris Farley until later on. Like I didn't really know Chris Farley, I think, until after he died. Um,
I don't remember when he died. Um,
and his movies and stuff were airing on TBS. So like that's how I really knew
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Chris
how
Farley
I got to know Chris Farley.
because
Like Tommy
yeah, because
Boy,
I didn't watch SNL.
Black Sheep, and Beverly Hills Ninja. I think those are the three
Yes,
movies that I know Chris Farley for. But like, let's be real, Chris Farley was alive long into our lifespan because
he
that
died in
motherfucker.
'97, so we were
Oh,
literally
never fucking mind. We were 8.
children.
We were
We were
8 years old.
children. Yeah.
Never mind then, because like the fact that he was going to be the original voice for Shrek. Shrek came out in I think 2000.
Yes, it's an old movie.
Like Jesus
Like
Murphy.
they had actually. The crazy part is they had actually already
A lot of it was done.
practically finished the movie,
Yeah.
and his brother wouldn't finish for him, and so that's when they had to recast.
What a dick. Then again, it's good that he didn't because like that fucking franchise has raised some children.
Yeah, and you know, it's a similar situation. So Tom Hanks is the voice of Woody, but when it comes to all of the
Yeah, it's his brother.
merchandise,
Yeah, it's his brother.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm very much aware of
crazy.
that. Like but the wild part is like because when we played Kingdom Hearts 3, we sat there and we were like, "Is that Tom Hanks?" And it's like, no, that's not Tom Hanks. It's his brother. As a matter of fact, in Forrest Gump, the scenes where Tom Hanks is like where Forrest is running across the country, that's not him, Tom Hanks. That's his brother. They just look so much alike, and they walk the same way. Like it just worked out. So like,
Kept your family working for 30 years. Good on you,
boy,
Tom.
Tom comes off as a literally okay dude.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like
Like, have you seen the story? Because you know his son, right?
no, I ain't never met him.
You don't know Chet.
Shit. Oh God, Tom's an old white man.
You don't know Chet.
No, baby, I don't know shit.
Okay, so Chet, um, FKA Chet Hanks, aka Chet Hayes, uh, is Tom Hanks's younger son. I don't know if he has more than two children because I only know the two, and I know he has the older one, Colin Hanks, but he has this younger one named Chet. And
Is
out
this
of
going
nowhere, just a
somewhere?
few years ago, he exploded onto the scene as a
Drag queen.
um, no, I don't know how to put it. Um,
Just describe what it is.
Wigger?
Oh, like so. Okay, yep. That there you go. Like words exist. Just use the words that describe the
But I
thing.
don't know. I can't say that that's fully it because he's kind of crazy.
Urban? Are you trying to
But
say
he's
he has
mellowed out.
an urban persona?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
okay,
And so for a while, a lot of people were just like, "Man, I wonder what Tom like. This is Tom Hanks' son. What does Tom think of this?" So earlier this week, a report came out because Chet posted a picture of his conversation with him and Tom, where Tom texted him and said, the text was literally, "Big man, can you explain the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef to me?"
so he's just a dad.
And then Chet laid it all out in a message, and Tom's like response was like, "Holy cow, that sounds like fighting words." So yeah, Tom Hanks he's an okay guy.
So Lori Beth Denberg.
Big man. He spelled out Main. Big man. But yeah. So she disappeared off TV.
Uh,
Um,
didn't
was
see
not
her
seen again. I'm
until the splat.
trying. I'm trying to recall whether or not back because a while ago on the Kids Choice Awards, they gave Dan the Lifetime Achievement Award,
Yeah,
and there
they
were
did.
so many people from his
Well,
shows
yeah.
that were on that stage. And I remember up front, it was Keenan and Kel that were presenting it to him, I believe. But I cannot remember if Lori Beth was on that stage or not. I know Amanda wasn't. I don't think Josh was there, even though Josh has been like the one person who has just like is like in full support of Dan and is like, I never experienced anything. Well, of course not, because he probably saw himself in you. But Josh himself has also been known to spin a yarn.
Spin that yarn, baby. Spin that yarn.
Um, so yeah, she was gone. I don't know when this splat thing happened. What was on the splat?
Oh, it was
Was it just like
literally
an update of her life?
no. The splat was it was like Toonami. It was just like it was a section of it was like Nickel. It was on Nickelodeon, I think, or like one of the Nickelodeon off branches, and it was just like Nick at Night, effectively for people our age.
Um,
And so they played things like Are You Afraid of the Dark,
oh,
Keenan,
okay, okay.
Keenan and
No, I
Kel,
remember
all
what you're
that.
talking about. Yeah. So that wasn't even like a current thing. So yeah, she hasn't been seen. since I guess since McKinnon did that episode of Wild 'N Out, and he brought the all that cast. Like no one had seen her until then.
Oh, I ain't gonna front. The whole reason I brought that up is because when I saw like when I saw her, I was like, you kind of expect these people to like change a little bit because like Katrina doesn't look like Katrina.
Oh, not at
Like
all.
like she does not look like who, and then the other chick, the black girl who
Amanda doesn't look like Amanda.
not anymore. Well, I still think Amanda
Giovanni. Giovanni
Giovanni
looks
looks like
exactly the same.
like yeah. Um, but of all the people that were there for like Quiet on Set, she's the only one who still looked like what she looked like, in my opinion. Um, fuck, you interrupted me, and now I can't remember what the fuck I was going to say. God damn it. Um,
Lori Beth looks like Lori Beth, just
no, no,
old.
no. The black chick who who worked with Keenan on the Randy and Mandy show skit.
Oh,
Like she doesn't
what
look
was her
like.
name?
I don't remember. I follow her on Instagram, but I can't remember her fucking name. Uh, but yeah, like off top, like nah, she doesn't look like she used to, because she definitely used to be skinny. She used to have like buck teeth. Like it was really weird. She wasn't ugly or anything like that, but she had a very distinct features. And the same goes for Josh.
Cool.
Server still looks like Server.
Oh, he looks like yeah,
Yeah,
just
he
old.
looks, yeah, just older. Lori Beth, when I saw her, I was like, yeah, Lori Beth looks like she looks tired and fatter.
Yeah,
Like fatter ain't much of a problem, but like she looked like she was at home and somebody kidnapped her and made her be on TV. Like no makeup, no like nothing like to prep her face for being in front of the camera, which is a shitty thing to say. But like everything we've said tonight has been relatively shitty, and we knew that that was going to be the case before we started. And now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, because it's been an hour, it's out of the way. Here's what I want to say, and this is where it's about to get real funky. So,
everybody clap your hands.
so when I heard that Lori Beth was claiming that Dan had done some Dan things with her, my first reaction was stop it. That was my first reaction. When she claimed that her and Dan had a secret relationship. Now, mind you, she didn't say it was a romantic relationship or a sexual relationship. She just said a secret relationship, which basically means nothing. Which basically means that there were things that her and Dan did together that other people didn't know about, which is acceptable. But I could not get beyond the fact that it was just a matter of like, yeah, hey, so this is Lori Beth Denberg claiming that Dan Schneider had her up to some naughty no stuff. And my reaction to that was, cut it out, cut it out. And the reason for that is because of how she looks. Like if she happens to get this, if Lori Beth Denberg finds this video and she fucking made it this far into the video, and it's like, are you offended? If you're offended, just know I'm also a very fat man. I am a short, fat man. Like, I do not consider Lori Beth ugly, even though I clearly just said she needed makeup. But look, it is what it is. She's white. Like, when white people look tired, they look half dead. Like, you can be mad at that if you want to, but that's just what y'all look like.